Hello, everybody. I am Willie Sublett III, founder of RightTouch Solutions. Welcome back to the RightTouch Rundown. This is your weekly dose of operational strategy and nonprofit clarity. It's time, my friends. It's time to kick off a new 4-part series. Y'all know I love me a good series. I use all the suggestions y'all email and DM and comment and text because some of y'all actually know me. So I greatly appreciate it. So taking all that information, our focus for the next few weeks will be on measuring what matters. So this series is for organizational leaders that have done the work. You've wrote the policies, you've brought in some funding, and now you're faced with the question that many other nonprofit leaders eventually have to answer. Is any of this actually working? Today, we are going to discuss outputs and versus outcomes. Stick with me. I promise we are not going to be doing any complicated arithmetic. Now, let me ask you something. If I asked you right now how your biggest program or flagship or whatever you want to call it is doing, what would you tell me? You could possibly tell me the numbers. We served 400 families. We hosted 12 workshops. We handed out 3,000 meals. Those numbers, while correct, not only feel good, they look real nice on a PowerPoint, scrolling across an annual report online, and even inside of a grant application. But none of those tell me if anybody's life, perspective, outlook is actually different because of what your organization did. Hear me when I say, counting what you did is not the same as proving it mattered. So, what's the difference, really? An output is an activity. It is what you did, how much of it, right? For example, meals served, people enrolled, sessions held. Outputs are easy to count, and honestly, they do show effort and reach. Now, on the other hand, our outcomes is the change. It is what happened to the people you served because you served them. Did they eat better this month? Did they apply any money-saving tools for grocery shopping or meal prep? Did their confidence grow? Did the things you set out to change actually shift? And if they shifted, how much was the shift? How much you measure the shift, right? I sit with executive directors all the time, and a while back, a good friend of mine, very proud, and rightly so, of their numbers. I'm talking 600 kids ran through their after-school program that year. Those are great numbers. She could tell me the exact count without looking it up. It was a beam of pride. But when I asked her how those 600 kids were doing differently because of their program, there was a pause. She had attendance sheets organized, stored, and ready at a moment's notice. They were an OCD's person dream, just beautiful. However, she did not have a single answer to the question, what changed because you're here? If you didn't have this program, what would happen? That pause taught them more than the 600 ever did because it showed them the program was built, it was needed, it was popular, it was very busy, but not one person on the board, there we go, could prove they were doing anything but putting kids in a room, having a big space for them to be after school. That gap between the number she could recite and the answers she couldn't give, that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Now, quick moment. If you felt that gap, if you've got numbers you're proud of and the shaky answers for what actually changed, go ahead and hit like and subscribe because we're going to be spending the next 3 weeks building out exactly how to close that gap. Okay? Now, Willie, what outcome could she have possibly given? Oh, well, thank you for asking. Let me tell you. Let me think about it for a second. Possible outcomes could include how many students got ahead in their studies during that time period, how many students used that time for study or for tutoring, how How many parents said they could finally pick up an extra shift to work because they knew exactly where their kid was and they felt that psychological safety, that they were going to be physically safe and mentally safe in that space, which caused them to be safe where they were. How many students named an adult at the program? Someone outside of their immediate family that they'd actually go to if something was wrong. How many students who used the program, how many students used to dread, there we go, how many students used to dread going straight home after school and started to stay because well, nobody at the house, or it's dangerous to get home, or they just felt unclear. But now they knew I could be here in an environment I already loved, because most young people love school. You know, you get older, you're like, I'm ready to get out. But those are real outcomes. So why is this getting harder to avoid? I used just to tell my story, that'd be enough. Give me some quick counts. But we talked previously in other episodes, feel free to go backwards. For a long time, outputs were all you needed. It was enough to keep funding coming through that bank account. You showed up, you did the work, you reported those surface numbers, and that was it. That was the whole story. Closed the game up. That has shifted over time. And now funders are asking sharper questions. Boards are being trained by people like me to probe and ask stronger questions. Not because we're doubting the heart of the organization, it's because impact is in the driver's seat when funders are working to identify who we're going to partner with. We want to know that the money is going to something that's providing something, and not just a warehouse or cafeteria full of kids, right? So let's talk about some simple ways to tell which one you're looking at. Here's a quick test, my friends. I want you to take whatever number you're proud of at this moment, whatever program you've done this year, you know it, I don't, because I'm not sitting with you. And I want you to ask one question, 2 words. Keep it real simple for you, I promise. I want you to ask yourself, so what? And look at yourself like this. Example, we handed out 500 backpacks. Now look at yourself. So what? If the honest answer is kids started the school feeling more prepared, we ran 4 budgeting workshops kids started to feel more prepared. That's answering that so what? Another example. We ran budgeting workshops this quarter. So what? Honest answer would be 2 families open up their first savings account. Everybody got a checking, but that savings, that's an outcome. So now it's just not a workshop count. You get what I'm talking about? I'll give you one more. We logged 300 hours of one-on-one meetings. So what? You had meetings. Honest answer would be discipline referrals for those students dropped by half due to that one-on-one mentor. And we found out, got to dig in and find the issues of why do people keep getting referrals? Why are you cutting up in class? Then those referrals cut down because usually when students know that you care, as we talked about earlier, as an outcome of the after-school program, as an adult they trusted. When they trust in you, and these teachers know, when students trust in you, it changes the game. They know that you care about them. They'll do right. Even grown folks. Like ourselves, we have people that we do right for because they built that trust up. If your honest answer is, we handed out backpacks, pencil cases, and gave the kids some donuts, that's still an output. And that's okay. I'm not trying to come for you. We're not going to fix it today. I want you to start to begin being able to see the difference. Then you'll begin to fix it on your own. Or you can call me. I'm always happy to be on a call with y'all. So, this isn't a message about, throwing out your output numbers as a bad thing. Please don't hear me say that. You still need those output numbers. They are very important. They tell people you are active. You're reaching out to the community. This is what's going on. But outputs alone cannot tell the whole story. And you want them to know the whole story of what you're doing. If that's all you're tracking, you do not know if your mission is working. You spent a lot of time making that mission and those bylaws. That 1023 is a beast of a document. You did what you're supposed to do. So understanding if your mission is working is the real litmus test on organizational sustainability. Next week, we're going to be building on this conversation with some practicality. You know, I like to get interactive with you. So we're going to talk about how to set up a simple way to track outcomes without needing a whole research department and multiple degrees and a whole bunch of other meetings. We're going to keep it real simple for you. You can grow from there. Let's start off simple first. That's all right with you. All right, friends, that's it for us today. Thank you for tuning in to the RightTouch Rundown. If this helps you see the difference between what you're doing and what is actually changing, share it with another leader, somebody who's still counting outputs and calling it impact. Don't you gatekeep. We help each other around here. Now, before you go, I'll be partnering with Dr. Erin Wilson, of Design Ideal Consultants to host a one-day leadership intensive on November 12th. It is built around one core idea. Leaders who know their own identity build stronger teams, better retention, and greater organizational readiness. I would love to see you there. Come on down to Texas for a little bit. And remember, friends, mission moves best with structure. I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.